Let's talk about water supply, Nigeria versus Spain Part 1.
Between Nigeria y España, between Nigeria and Spain, you know that I've covered rent, I've covered electricity, that's power supply, and now I would want to dive into water supply. But this part is a bit emotional for me because it has taken me down the memory lane, right? How I grew up. I grew up in a public compound, right? And in that case, we had a well. That well served 3 yards, 16A, 16B, 16C, back in Nigeria. And the way that well was dug, it was dug in such a way that it wasn't that deep. The well dries up. I've gone to compounds that their water doesn't dry, like their well doesn't dry at all, but ours dry up, you understand? So in that case, right, so oftentimes then would wake up as early as 4, more like you have to wake up on time so you'd be able to fetch clean water, because sometimes the water you see it is Fanta like, or it is muddy, in the sense that after fetching it you need to allow it settle. You allow it settle properly, right? Then you take your bath afterwards, right? But you know that such water you cannot use it to cook. I don't know if there were people that were using it to cook. We usually buy from boreholes, then private owned boreholes, if you want to cook and all. The experience in España is, I mentioned that before we rented the apartment, the property management agency, the lawyer from there told us that currently in Madrid it's sort of a monopoly thing, right? The major vendor is Canal de Isabel. I think that's the only vendor, right? And the way it is, you pay. Water bills come in once in a month, right? That is how it comes in. Once in 2 months anyway, right? But the experience in Nigeria, at some point when I got married, I was exposed to pumping water, because most times, maybe when I'll visit my friends, then they'll be like, oh, they were pumping water, and me, I could not relate because I always fetch water from the well. That was then I was fetching water from the well, but that's not the experience. So guys, let me know what you think. Share your experience down here. Watch out for part